Hey yo. So I chose the Shiloh National Military Park as my research presentation, and today I'm just gonna be kind of going ahead and giving you an overview of the history and the culture, some animals that are in the park that will be in the park, some outdoor activities, stuff like that. So some history and culture and overview. So it actually contains a wide array of historic sites. You got the Shiloh Battlefield, the Shiloh Cemetery, and the Shiloh Indian Mounds. And so the Shiloh Cemetery is actually within the Shiloh battlefield, and the Shiloh Cemetery contains upwards to 4,000 soldiers and their family members. So, some history and culture about the Battle of Shiloh. So, the Shiloh National Military Park was established after the Battle of Shiloh, and it was actually established on December 27th, 1894. The Battle of Shiloh happened April 6th through the 7th in 1862. And the battle actually produced more than 23,000 casualties. And this was the largest engagement in the Mississippi Valley Campaign during the Civil War. Cemetery history. The cemetery was actually established in 1866 when the War Department declared it on the battlefield of Shiloh. Kind of going back a little bit, I said it holds 4,000, upwards 4,000. It actually holds 3,584 Civil War soldiers. 2,359 of them are actually unknown. So their headboards had been originally marked and were made of wood, but they were all changed in 1876 and 1877 into the granite stones that they are today. Now going on to the Indian mounds that were mentioned before. About 800 years ago, between two steep ravines, a wooden palisade enclosed the Indian mounds and dozens of houses. And the Indian mounds would actually most likely be for the city's important buildings. These could be religious buildings, council houses, and residencies of the town's leaders. Starting off with some outdoor activities. Um, so cyclists may ride on these auto tour roads. E-bikes are permitted. This auto tour road is 12.7 miles, and you may drive it as well, but it is self-guided. Many people are actually encouraged to hike, walk, and even run the trails. You get to view wildlife, and you can even explore the site of Battery Robinette. Some more outdoor activities, like you can visit the Shiloh National Cemetery. You can become a Shiloh Junior Ranger. You can tour the Corinth Contraband Camp, which this is actually the birthplace of freedom. And this is located in the Corinth, Mississippi. You can attend a ranger program after becoming a Shiloh Junior Ranger, and you can visit the site of Davis Bridge Battlefield. Moving on to the Shiloh Park Store. So the Park Store is a nonprofit organization of all national parks. And this is a bookstore that is trying to share the mission of Shiloh National Military Park. This store carries a ton of books, a wide variety of maps, DVDs, CDs, postcards, clothing, and other items that relate to the Shiloh National Military Park, the Civil War, the history of West Tennessee and North Mississippi, and other associated national park areas. The number of the store is right here on the slide. It is 731-689-3475 in case you wanted to place an online order, in case you would ever visit, have any issues with an order, etc. Now moving on to the animals that are living inside of the park. Starting off, we have some amphibians. So the amphibians, they're all cold-blooded, and they actually all act as a natural pest control. There are 31 species of amphibians that have been identified in the park. Some of these species are the marble salamander, the bullfrog, the northern cricket frog, the green tree frog, and the barking tree frog. Moving on to the birds. Within the course of a year, there were 186 different species of birds that had been documented within the boundaries of the park. And during the summer months, birds such as the barn swallow, chimney swift, yellow-billed cuckoo, etc., will actually nest and fledge their young. Year-round bird residents include the mockingbird, the cardinal, the red-tailed hawk, the eastern bluebird, the chipping sparrow, and the northern bobwhite. Moving on to mammals. So mammals account for 1/6 of all the vertebrate species in the park. White-tailed deer are very abundant and are most often seen feeding at either dusk or dawn. Some other commonly known mammals that are seen are the gray squirrel and eastern cottontail rabbit. Some other lesser seen mammals include the gray fox and the coyote. And some nocturnal mammals include the bats, raccoons, possums, striped skunks, and the nine-banded armadillos. We're on to the reptiles. These are also kind of so there are poisonous snakes that are in the park, and the poisonous snakes that are in the park are including the copperhead and the cottonmouth snakes. There are also non-poisonous snakes in the park that are including the rat snake, the southern black racer, and the ringneck snakes. Reptiles are more active in the spring and summer months due to them being cold-blooded bodies. So Shiloh is home to 28 different species of reptiles, including turtles, snakes, and small lizards. Some of the most seen reptiles that were not mentioned before are the eastern box turtle, snapping turtles, eastern fence lizard, and the ground skink. Now moving on to the plants, trees and shrubs. More than 100 species of trees and shrubs and woody vines inhabit the park. These plants will provide shelter for wildlife and for food for the herbivores in the park. Some of the common trees and shrubs found in the park are the winged sumac, the white oak, water oak, black cherry, the yellow poplar, American elm, eastern redbud, common persimmon, the red maple, and the mocker nut hickory. Now moving on to the wildflowers. So from the beginning of spring to the end of the warm season, wildflowers actually provide the park with an amazing display of colors for the visitors. And wildflowers, as plants, will also provide food for the insects, the rabbits, and the white-tailed deer, so like the herbivores of the park. Nectar produced by these flowers is also food for bees, butterflies, and ruby-throated hummingbirds. Some commonly found wildflowers in the park include the fire pink, the blue phlox, potato dandelion, spring beauty, the cardinal flower, and the black-eyed Susan. And now that we're done talking about the animals and the plants, we can now go ahead and look at the field trips. So this is a ranger-led, curriculum-based program, and the requests actually must be submitted 6 weeks before your plant visits and are only processed on either Mondays or Thursdays. The link for the field trip information, if you want a bigger overview and not so broad and not so small, here's the link right here. You may actually become a volunteer as well. Volunteers of all ages are welcome. Plenty of volunteer opportunities such as visitor services, living history, natural resource management, and maintenance are available. There are also opportunities for college students that want to get internships at working at the park. Those are available as well. And so here are the photos and multimedia links. If you want to go to either one, it's basically just a photo gallery and videos of the park. And finally, plan your visits, man. Physical address is 1055 Pittsburgh Landing Road in Shiloh, Tennessee. Operating hours and seasons, so Monday through Sunday from sunrise to sunset. The weather is going to be mild winters and hot summers with highs of 90 degrees in the summer and 50 degrees in the winter. And if you want a bigger overview of the basic information, the link is right there. Thank you, guys.